All right, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another live episode of the Mr. Islam Answers Back show. Today, as we try to do all the time, we bring you another good and interesting topic. This is one that I've been talking about, saying that we were going to deal with it, and finally, here we are. We're going to deal with it. We're finally going to address and refute this claim of the Apostate Prophet. A man who goes by the name of the Apostate Prophet says he's an ex-Muslim, seems to have a big following, right? Seems to have a big following, a lot of subscribers. It's the one thing that I keep talking to the Muslims about, in that, you know, where is the Muslim support for the content such as myself that addresses people like this? It's clear that there's a big market for the ex-Muslim haters against Islam position, and therefore they're getting a lot of support. So I'm wondering, where are the Muslims at? I heard yesterday when I watched a little bit of the show with him and David, and they were talking about how they were saying that, you know, Muslim parents are complaining in other countries, you know, about trying to get his videos banned and whatever the case may be. So I'm like, well, you know, for those Muslim parents out there, you got an answer right here, Your brother Shadid. Your brother Shadid has the help that you need for yourself and for your children. But the support is not being given. All right? Now, perhaps it's not your fault because you haven't searched and you haven't looked. So I'm going to ask the Muslims to, number one, let's like the video. All right? Like the video, whether you're watching live right now or you wind up being a viewer at a later date. Like the video. Number one, like the video, because that'll raise our numbers on YouTube. Number two, spread the video around. Share it. Not only this video, but all my videos, because all of my videos address a lot of these arguments from before, right? A lot of my debates are available, and I have, you know, videos where I'm doing home videos addressing a lot of these topics. Like I said before, I have received emails and messages from some Muslims here and there, who say they appreciate the work that I've done, and that, you know, my videos help them remain Muslim. You know, they had seen some videos of David or whoever, and, you know, their faith was a little shaken, but then they saw my video responses, and alhamdulillah, they said that I saved them from leaving Islam. Beautiful, mashallah, all praises due to Allah. But obviously the word is not being spread around enough, right? Obviously my videos are not being spread around enough. So those Muslims who watch this video later, or you're watching it now, make sure, one, like I said, like the video. That'll help raise the people to see it, the algorithms on YouTube. Number two, share and spread the video around. If you know of Muslim parents like this, or Muslims who are having questions because they've seen some Apostate Prophet video or David Wood video, then share these videos, right? Share this video that I'm making now, and share my other videos that have the refutations to the claims that these people make, right? So if you're shaking in your faith as an individual, I got the answers for you. If you say that you're upset because your children are listening to these guys' videos and they're having doubts about their faith, Brother Shadid has what you need. But I need your support. The same way the haters and the bigots and those who are against Islam are supporting David, and I showed you the numbers already, and look at his numbers, right? You need to do the same thing for Muslim content. All right? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and perhaps you're not aware of Brother Shadid. Been around for a long time. Been around for quite some time. I think about 10 years now, at least, right, on YouTube. My videos are going back. So make yourself aware of your Brother Shadid. I got the help, the answers that you need. Okay? If you're interested in remaining a Muslim. If you want your children to have the answers and see the questions being answered and refuted, Brother Shadid can help you. All right, so enough of that. Let's go on ahead and get into the subject. So, I'm addressing this first video of his now I don't know if it's his first video, but I mean, this is the first one that I'm going to address. It's a highlight on his YouTube channel. It is entitled, let's see, hold on a second. Let's see, make sure we get it. It's entitled One Mistake. Yeah, One Mistake Destroys Islam, right? That's the name of the video. One Mistake Destroys Islam is the name of his video. All right, and in his video, the mistake that he claims destroys Islam is a very old claim. It's not new, but it's this claim, and it has been refuted before, but no problem, we can do it again. This claim that the Quran makes the mistake of confusing Mary, the mother of Jesus, for Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. You may have heard that claim before. All right, so he's reviving that claim and making it that the Quran, or the author of the Quran, Allah, Muhammad, whoever he claims wrote the Quran, has made this mistake by confusing Mary, the mother of Jesus, for Mary, or Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. And as we know, they lived at different time periods. So the claim is that the Quran, whoever wrote the Quran, made a mistake, didn't know what they were talking about, and made Mary, the mother of Jesus, be the sister of Moses and Aaron, and therefore, because they lived at different time periods, this is a mistake, and therefore that destroys Islam. But we're going to show you that that is not the case, that this mistake of his destroys Apostate Prophet. In fact, it actually falls back on him, and it actually destroys him. It doesn't destroy Islam. So in his video, he says that he challenges any Muslim to refute it, but he says that they can't. Well, let's find out. Let's see if it can't be refuted as he claims. Obviously, I wouldn't be making the video if it couldn't be refuted, right? So that's a hint right there. That's a hint right there. Obviously, I wouldn't be making the video if it couldn't be refuted. But let's get into it and let's check it out. Okay, let's check it out. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look and listen to his argument, and then we'll go ahead and address it as it goes on. Oh, by the way, of course, let me say that I'm using the content under what they call the Fair Use Act, which allows video footage or material of others to be used if it is being used for educational purposes, for criticisms, under those reasons. And of course, this is a form of education, criticism, and refutation. So under those under those usages, it is allowed under the Fair Use Act and not considered a violation of copyrighted material and such. All right, so let me make that clear. All right, let's go ahead.
Hello everyone and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. In current news, I have been banned from Instagram again for hate speech or singling out people based on their religion.
Let me say something about that too, because him and David were talking about that on their show. And well, like I said, I don't know if that's Instagram itself that banned him or whatever, or if it's people or Muslims, trying to get his material banned, because him and David were talking about that on their show yesterday. That people are flagging their videos and trying to get their videos. Muslims, you don't have to do that. Okay, you don't have to do that. That's a cowardly way of handling opponents like this. Okay, because it's like like you're scared of them. You don't have to get them banned or flagged or whatever the case may be, unless they're cursing or not cursing, but unless they're promoting like outright hatred or bigotry or whatever. If they're just doing a criticism, a theological criticism of Islam or whatever, then we address it. Then we just address it. You refute it. You don't have to report them and try to get them banned, because again, in their eyes and in the eyes of their supporters, that makes it look like the Muslims are afraid. That makes it look like you're scared. That makes it look like you can't handle or address what they're saying, and we can handle it. We can address it. The way that you handle it is to support those who are addressing it, like myself, and if there are any others, and others, I know there are others out there, and others. That's how you address it. Support the people who you feel are best out there answering and addressing and refuting the claims. You don't have to report them. Like I said, unless they're promoting outright hatred and bigotry or something like that, then, that's different. But if they're just criticizing, trying to make theological claims, then we address it back. That's all. You refute it. You respond back with the correct and accurate information to refute it. Okay? So I'm letting Muslims know, don't try to get them banned. Don't try to get their videos flagged or removed or whatever the case may be. Just support the people like myself who are addressing them. And that's how we do it. And then spread the videos, spread the refutation around so that more people can see it. Right? That's how we deal with that. That's how you deal with it. Support the people who are addressing it. Or make your own videos addressing it, right? Either make your own videos that address it or support people like myself who address it. And then make sure the videos that I make go viral, right? Spread them around. Share them. Constantly share it around. Spread them. Make the subscribers go up. Make the viewership go up of the videos. And that's how you deal with it. Okay? So I don't agree with, banning and, trying to get the video removed and all that stuff like that. No. Don't do that. Just respond with the correct information or support those who are responding with the correct information. All right, let's continue.
Ethnicity, race, disability, and so on. Apparently that rule also goes for Muhammad, a suicidal warlord who lived 1,400 years.
All right, let me. Like I said, this is not the topic that he talks about, but let's address his little snide comments about suicidal warlord. This is the claim that these bigots like to make. Yes, now I'm referring to you as a bigot here. That these bigots like to make, that Muhammad was a suicidal warlord and all that nonsense like that. He wasn't a warlord. He wasn't suicidal. And of course, they're referring to when he first received the revelation that he was fearful or whatever. But it's interesting that in their Bible, right, for example, Jonah, when Jonah also was called on by God, Jonah was fearful, and Jonah tried to take his own life as well. But that's okay. He's not suicidal, right? Jonah wasn't considered suicidal. Jonah was considered a righteous man of God, right? After all the story, Jonah is considered a righteous man of God, but Muhammad has to be a suicidal warlord, right? And then on the second part of it, that he's a warlord, he wasn't a warlord. He was the leader of his people, and his people were being persecuted, and they were under attack. What the hell did you expect him to do? Sit down and let his people, let him and his people get slaughtered? No, he fought back in self-defense. So, these guys with their double standards and their hypocrisy is, it tells us something about them.
Ago, a proud 50-year-old husband of a 6-year-old girl. But that's...
And of course, the Aisha thing, which has been addressed on numerous occasions, so many different ways. One, the fact that in history shows, the study of anthropology, which is the study of human beings, shows that in the history of marriage, that girls getting married at such an age was commonplace. It wasn't unusual. It wasn't unusual in ancient times for girls to get married at 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. They said the average age was 12, which today is still considered too young. But there's many historical accounts of many societies, whether it be European, Middle Eastern, African, Asian, etc., getting married at 6 or 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. It wasn't uncommon. That's the first point, the first argument. The other side of it is that, as has been shown, that there seems to be that there's some discrepancy about her age. Right? There are other hadiths that say that she had been in puberty before her parents had accepted Islam. She was already in puberty, they say. And the stories show that she was engaged to marry somebody else. Right? Some others have shown that the ages, events, and other events that correspond with her age and the age of her family, her sister, or whatever, that they show that she seems to have been, she could have been older. But in any case, either way you look at it, they still don't have an argument there. It's a failed argument because it's ignoring, the ancient context in which it took place. All right, so
that's nothing new and shocking. The Suicidal Prophet is a great video title, by the way. In other news, we have recently destroyed the Quran with absolute proof that it is wrong. I made a video last week in which I presented a clear mistake in the Quran. Since I titled it Absolute Proof the Quran is Wrong, Some people who acknowledge that it is indeed a huge mistake wondered if one such mistake is enough to conclude that the Quran, and therefore Islam, is wrong. I then realized that not everyone is perfectly familiar with what Islam claims, especially regarding the Quran. So I want to take some time to talk about how one mistake alone, can destroy the entire Quran, all the scripture, and the religion itself. First off, there is not only one mistake in the Quran, there are so many. Many of them are undeniable. And I will soon release an episode, a giant project, in which I will present and explain all mistakes in the Quran. That was my promise for 100,000 subscribers, and we are there. Thank you so much. The one mistake we are talking about is a very clear mistake, and can't be countered by Muslim apologists. Let's briefly look at the mistake I presented last week, in order to understand what a big flaw it is, and what it tells us about the Quran and its author. There are two Marys in Abrahamic belief and history. Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Miriam, the prophetess, sister of Aaron and Moses, and daughter of Amram, or in Arabic, Imran. The two lived at least a millennium apart from each other, possibly much more. The Quran describes Mary, mother of Jesus, 3 times in 3 different cases the wrong way, and confuses her with Miriam the prophetess. Once it calls her sister of Aaron, which is wrong. Then it calls her daughter of Imran, Mary, who was given a child from God, Jesus. And the third time, it even lengthily describes Amram, the father of Moses and Aaron, whose wife gives birth to Mary, who then gives birth to Jesus, 1,500 years later. Mary was obviously involved in time travel. In fact, if time travel was ever possible, and we invented a time machine and...
Okay, so, while he makes his silly mocking, let's go ahead and address it. So, does the Quran make the mistake of confusing Mary, mother of Jesus, for Mary, for Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron? Let's take a look. Well, the answer is no. All right, the answer to that is no. So let's deal with it. Okay. So the first verse that he uses to make the claim is chapter 3:35. Right, chapter 3:35 of the Quran. This is where it is mentioned that in the Quran. Let me pull that up for a second. Hold on. Let's see. Just a minute. Hold on. So where is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. No, I'm sorry. Not 3:35. What's that for? Yeah, 1928. Right, 1928. Quran chapter 1928. Chapter 19, verse 28. All right, so let's pull that up on the screen so you can see it. Okay, so as you see here, all right, Quran chapter 19:28. You probably, like I said, many of you may have heard this argument. Maybe you haven't. Here, I'll give you the context. Here is where Mary has already given birth to Jesus, and she brings the child, around her people, and them knowing that, that she hadn't been married, they question this action. They're shocked that she has a child, obviously assuming that this is a child out of fornication. So it says, O sister of Aaron, right? O sister of Aaron, your father was not a wicked man, nor was thy mother a harlot, or a loose woman, or an unchaste woman. In other words, this is, as you can see, like they are recalling her to her lineage, that, how could you do something like this? You come from a good lineage, right? Your father was not an evil man, and your mother was not a loose or promiscuous woman or unchaste woman. So how could you, coming from a family like that, do something like this to have a child, which they assume out of wedlock? So the claim here is because here she is referred to as sister of Aaron, that they take it that, oh, well, look, this is a mistake. They're calling her the sister of Aaron, i.e. Moses' brother, and she lived hundreds of years after the time of Aaron and Moses. How could they be calling her sister of Aaron? This is a mistake. The Quran made a mistake and thinks that she is Aaron's direct sister. But it's clear that that's not the case. They're calling her to her lineage, reminding her of the lineage that she comes from. So when they call her sister, oh, sister of Aaron, this is not saying that she is the direct relative of Aaron, his sister, his direct, immediate, biological sister, and therefore, it's a mistake. This is a call to lineage. This is an expression to show how a person, the lineage that a person comes from, just as they remind her of her immediate parents. That look, oh, sister of Aaron, your parents were good people. Now, in the video, he claims that this is wrong, right? He claims that he says that too, that people say that this is just a saying, but he claims that that's wrong. I have the evidence that this is not wrong, that even in the Bible, you will see that the same thing is done in the Bible, that people are called by a person who they are not the direct descendant of. This is clearly a way that they express themselves to show the person's lineage or connection to a certain prominent person in their lineage. Let's take a look at the evidence. For example, like I said, he said it was false, right? He says that's false. That that's not just a saying and it's wrong. But no, Mr. Apostate Prophet, you're wrong. Take a look here on the screen. Look at John chapter 8, verse 39 of the Bible. Right? Here we see where Jesus is speaking with some of the Jews, and look how they refer to themselves. They say, Abraham is our father, they answered. Clearly, this is at the time of Jesus. If we want to take the silly argument that he and others make, are we then can we blame the Bible and say, oh, look, the Bible made a mistake? The people at Jesus' time, they think that Abraham is their father. Meanwhile, Abraham lived hundreds of years ago. So look, the Bible makes a mistake. The Bible thinks that the Jews in the time of Jesus, they think that Abraham is their direct father, but Abraham lived hundreds of years ago. No, it's obvious that this is a way to express your prominent lineage, that you are connected, that you are the descendant of a person, who's prominent in your history or in your lineage. So they say Abraham is our father, but he wasn't their direct father. Okay? Again, he claims it was wrong. He says no. He says the Muslims say that this is just a saying when people say, oh, sister of, or whatever and such. And he says that's wrong. No, Apostate Prophet, you're wrong. That's why this one mistake destroys you. I'm going to show you further proof. Further proof. Here we see in the Bible, in the book of James. Right? Here we see in the Bible, in the book of James. Again, it's done again. Here is the book of James, and it says, this is supposed to be written by James, saying, was not our father Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? Again, can we say, oh, look at that mistake? James thinks that Abraham is his father, but James lived hundreds of years after Abraham. Oh, see, the Bible made a mistake. Writers of the Bible didn't know that Abraham lived hundreds of years ago. Or is it clear that this is just a reference to your descendants, your ancestors, right? Your prominent ancestor, Abraham. But notice what he said. He uses the word, was not our father Abraham. Right? He didn't say, oh, our great grandfather Abraham. He said, our father Abraham. Why didn't he say our great, 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 great grandfather Abraham was he not? No, he said our father Abraham. Again, remember, Apostate Prophet said that it's not just a saying, it's wrong. He said Muslims claim it's a saying, that's wrong. No, sir, you're wrong. I'm proving it here. Let's not stop there, though. Let's not stop there. Let's continue to show. Right? Here is people referring to Jesus. Mark chapter 10, verse 48. Right? It said, many rebuked him, speaking of the person who's crying out to Jesus, and told him, be quiet. But he shouted all the more, not Jesus, but the person that's speaking to Jesus, saying, Son of David, have mercy on me. Here Jesus is referred, look, just glad, Son of David. Son of David. Was Jesus the direct son of David? No. No, he was not. Or can we play their game? Let's play their game. Oh, the Bible made a mistake. Whoever wrote the Bible didn't know that David lived hundreds of years before Jesus. But look, the Bible has a man calling Jesus son of David, but David lived hundreds of years ago, before Jesus. Bible made a mistake. Writers didn't know that David lived hundreds of years ago and saying that, look, Jesus is the son of David. See? Again, Apostate Prophet said that it's not just a saying, that's wrong. Then how come, as we're seeing in the Bible, Mr. Apostate Prophet, that we have all these examples of people doing that very same thing? Calling people their father, their son, or referring to somebody as the son of somebody, or the father of somebody's their father. Meanwhile, that person lived hundreds of years ago. Meanwhile, that person lived hundreds of years before the person's in question. Is it a mistake, or is it a saying, as has been said that it's a saying? Okay, it's obvious that it's a saying. But now, how about Mary, though? How about Mary? Why is Mary called sister of Aaron, though? Interestingly, in the story in a story that involves Mary in the New Testament, we see that she does have a connection to Aaron. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. See, a lot of Christians are ignorant. I don't know what apostate. I don't know if he's apostate to be an atheist or whatever. But whatever the case is, your ignorance is on display, Apostate Prophet. And like I said, that one mistake is going to destroy you. All right. So let's set this up real quick, though. Let me set this up very quickly to show you that the Bible, the New Testament, shows that Mary is, in fact, connected to this Aaron. Whether it's Aaron, the brother of Moses, or is it some other Aaron? Whatever the case is, Mary's connected to this guy named Aaron. All right? More than likely, it probably is to show her that she's a descendant of Aaron, the brother of Moses. But in any case, whatever it is, the Bible, even the New Testament, shows that she's connected to this Aaron. So the Quran does not make a mistake in referring to her as the sister of Aaron, as a way to show her connection to Aaron, to this Aaron person, whether it's Aaron, the brother of Moses, or some other Aaron. Why do I say some other Aaron? Well, you'll see. Just hold this. You'll see why I say that. You'll see why I say that. Okay. You'll see why I say that. All right. So we're gonna start here. Let's start right here. Let's start right here. Let's start at Luke 1:36. I'm working in a certain order. The verses that I'm giving are not in order, but I want to show. I'm using this to make a point to show you my point. So here is in the book of Luke in the New Testament, where this is the context is this is the time around where Mary is giving birth, having her child, but a relative of hers, her cousin Elizabeth, who is the wife of Zacharias, who is also mentioned in connection with Mary in the Quran as well, that he's the one that came to the temple to look after her. So clearly there's a connection here. And clearly the Quran is not mistaking that this is Mary, the sister of Moses, because in those verses in the Quran, it mentions that Zacharias is involved in the event, in the story of Mary. And the same thing is here in the New Testament, that Zacharias is around Mary at the same time as well, who's the father of John, right? So it says here, as you see in these verses, it says they refer to her either as her relative or her cousin, depending on the translation. right? It says, even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old. So in other words, Mary, you're pregnant, and so is your cousin, your relative, right? Some translations say cousin. But in any case, Elizabeth, the wife of Zacharias, is a relative of Mary, right? This is a relative of Mary, as you see here. As I said, some translations put it as, as a cousin. But anyway, whichever way it is, she's a relative. Right? Most of a lot of translations say relative. King James Version has cousin, as you see on the screen. And behold, your cousin Elizabeth, right? Most of them say relative. So Elizabeth is a relative of Mary. Okay? Luke 1:36. That's the context. So check this out, everybody. Look, let's turn to Luke 1:5. Look what it says, everybody. Look who Elizabeth is related to. Remember, I just showed you that Elizabeth and Mary are related, according to Luke 1:36. But let's jump to the beginning, to the start, and look at Luke 1:5. Look who Elizabeth is said to be a daughter of. Can you guys see that? Let's read it. It says, there was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zachariah, of the course of Abia. And his wife was of the daughters of Aaron. There's that name. Was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. You follow me now? I just showed you in 1:36 of Luke that Mary is related to Elizabeth. Right? The word that they use is either a relative, some translate it as cousin. But she's a relative. Mary and Elizabeth are related. Here it says that Elizabeth, Mary's relative, is a daughter of Aaron. So let's play their game. Bible makes a mistake. Aaron lived hundreds of years before Elizabeth. How can Elizabeth be the daughter of Aaron? Mr. Apostate said, no, when Quran says sister of Aaron, that's a mistake. It's not a saying. That's not true. Okay, well then, right here, Mr. Apostate, this must be a mistake too then. How could Aaron have a daughter? How could Elizabeth be his daughter when he lived hundreds of years ago? So either it is a saying to refer to somebody as the sister of so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, the daughter of so-and-so, so-and-so is my father, even though so-and-so may have lived hundreds of years ago, or these are mistakes. Or maybe it's a third option. Or maybe these are other people with the same name, right? Maybe that's the third option. Maybe these are people of the same. Maybe there's a different Abraham who's the father of James. Maybe there's a different Abraham who lived at that time who was the father of the Jews at that time. Maybe there's a different David who's the father of Jesus, since Jesus is called the son of David. Maybe there's a different David. He just has the same name. Maybe they were referring to another David, a David who lived at that time, who was the son, who was Jesus's father at that time. Right? Probably not likely. It's more than likely what we said, that it's a saying. This was an expression to show the person's lineage, to show the person's connection to a prominent person in their lineage. So the Jews would say, our father Abraham. James would say, our father Abraham. The person could say, Jesus, son of David. Not that David was his direct father, and he's a direct son of David, but it shows his lineage. It's a saying. Abraham, our father. It's a saying. It doesn't mean Abraham was right. There's a different Abraham, or Abraham lived at the same time. And Elizabeth, the daughter of Aaron. It's a saying. Or maybe there's another Aaron. Maybe there's a different Aaron. Maybe there was another guy named Aaron who had a daughter named Elizabeth, and therefore Mary in the Quran is his sister. Right? Or it's a saying. More than likely, it's as we said, it's a saying. It's a saying that people use to show and express your connection, or you're being a descendant of a person in your lineage who was of a prominent status. So you say, hey, reference my father Abraham, daughter of Aaron, sister of Aaron. son of David, brother of so-and-so. Okay? Again, he said that when people say it's just a saying, that they're wrong. I prove that Apostate Prophet is wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But as I said, notice here in the Bible, in the New Testament, for Christians watching, notice that in the story of Mary in your New Testament, notice she has a connection even here to this guy Aaron. She has a connection to him right here. How? Because I just showed you in Luke 1:36 that it says Mary and Elizabeth are related. They're relatives. So Mary's relative Elizabeth is a daughter of Aaron. So in the Quran, Mary is called a sister of Aaron. It's not a mistake. It's not confusing Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, with Mary the way is fully aware that Moses and Aaron lived at a different time. Okay, I want to give credit to the website Answering Islam. Okay, so I want to give credit where credit is due. As you can see on the screen, this is from the website Answering Christianity. My bad, Answering Christianity. I want to give credit to the website Answering Christianity. As you see on the screen, all the blue letters and numbers right here, it mentions these are the verses that demonstrate that the Quran is fully aware that Aaron and Moses lived at a different time. Therefore, the Quran is not making a mistake thinking that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was the same Miriam that was the sister of Moses and Aaron. The Quran is aware, and it shows that Moses and Aaron, and it tells you they lived at a different time. Okay? So as you see here, the brother outlined many of the verses that demonstrate this fact. Okay, so as you see here, the third example where my cursor's at, see it right there, it says the Noble Quran also talks about Jesus coming to the people of Israel so many years after Moses and many other messengers of God that were sent to the people of Israel, and he gives the verses that demonstrate this fact that the Quran is acknowledging that Jesus lived or came after many years, after the time of Moses. So it's not mistaking that Jesus lived at the same time of Moses or whatever the case. The Quran is aware of that. Okay? All right. Here are the verses where my cursor's at. It says the Noble Quran talked about Aaron being Moses' biological brother and messenger to Pharaoh in these verses here. Chapter 2, verse 248, chapter 4, verse 163, so forth and so on, as you see here on the screen. The point is to show that the Quran is not making a mistake. The writer of the Quran, the author of the Quran, who we believe is Allah, is fully aware that Moses and Aaron lived at a different time from Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's not making that mistake. It's not mistaking them for, that Mary to be the same Mary. Okay? It's very clear on that. All right? Further, he goes on. Now, let's see. So we addressed that. Let's listen to what he has to say from there. Okay? And you'll hear where he says that it wasn't just a saying, as I just proved that it is a saying, but let's listen to him.
In the future, Muslims would probably point at this verse and say, look, the Quran predicted time travel very much. As you can clearly see, the Quran mistakes these two Marys for each other.
As I just demonstrated, the Quran does not mistake those two for each other. This is your mistake, Mr. Apostate Prophet, and all those who brought this argument prior to you also made the same mistake. This is what happens when you're not really trying to understand another religion. This is what happens when you don't try to do real proper research and you're just going off your biases and your bigoted way of thinking against that group. You don't really want to look. You don't really want to investigate. You don't really want to research. And therefore you wind up making asinine mistakes like this. So the mistake is yours. But go ahead, continue.
What apparently happened here is that because both characters share the same name, Miriam or Maryam in Arabic, and the author of the Quran, possibly Muhammad or someone after him, wasn't familiar enough with these characters, and apparently Muhammad didn't understand who Imran or Amram was. And since in biblical stories, Miriam the prophetess who shares Mother Mary's name, and she has a father called Amram, of Aaron and Moses. Muhammad treated Amram or Imran as the father of Mother Mary. Something went really, really wrong here. A regular Christian or a Jew in these traditions who knows his traditions would never make such an absurd mistake. Muhammad and his followers come from an Arab pagan background, and Muhammad had lots of interactions with Christians and Jews in his merchant life, and some misinformation made it indeed in the Quran. This mistake is so huge that Muslim apologists can't get out of it without creating new theories and fantasies in order to let people hold on to Islam.
Well, as you see, I didn't have to create any new theory or fantasy. I showed proof that even in the previous scriptures, number one, that people were referred to, with such language, that they used such expressions, such sayings, right? First thing. Secondly, I showed you that even, interestingly, even in the New Testament story of Mary, there's a connection to Aaron. I just showed it. So it's not a new theory, Apostate Prophet. It's not a new theory. I didn't have to make anything up. I showed you with clear evidence that, interestingly, many Christians don't even know that in their own story of Mary in the book of Luke, Mary is shown to have a connection to this Aaron, because she is a relative of this woman, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is said to be a daughter of Aaron, which means what? That means Mary is also related to this same Aaron person. Whether it's a different Aaron who lived at their time, which could make her Elizabeth a direct daughter of Aaron, and thereby Mary also being related to Elizabeth and this same Aaron, or whether it's used as an expression or a saying to show that Elizabeth is a descendant of Aaron from the time of Moses. Either way you look at it, their own book before the Quran shows that Mary is connected and related to this guy Aaron. Whoever he is, whether he's the Aaron from time of Moses, and this is an expression of lineage, or whether it's a different Aaron at the time that lived at the time of Mary and Elizabeth, Mary is connected to this Aaron because she's related to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is the daughter of Aaron in the book of Luke, which means, and it says that Mary and Elizabeth are related. They're relatives, cousins. Like I said, King James says cousin. Others say relative. Either way, though, if she's related to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is the daughter of Aaron, then Mary is also related to this same Aaron person. So it's not a new theory. I didn't have to create anything to try to keep anybody in Islam. All I have to do is show the evidence where you lack your knowledge. Okay?
Most apologists only address one of these three mistakes and say that sister of Aaron
Here's the part. Listen.
was only a saying, a common practice, which by the way is also wrong. But they won't make a sound or won't make any sense.
Okay, you heard, right? So there you go. I already addressed it. I already refuted him, but he said it's wrong, right? He said that people will say that it's a saying, but he says that's wrong. He says that's wrong. I showed you with definitive proof that even before the Quran, it was such a practice to have a saying like that. To say daughter of, son of, so-and-so is our father, even though so-and-so lived hundreds of years ago. Even though so-and-so lived hundreds of years ago, but you're calling so-and-so the son of this person. Here we see Elizabeth is called the daughter of so-and-so. Right? So you heard him right there. He said it's wrong. We showed that no, Apostate Prophet, you are wrong. You are wrong. Now, he said that people only address that first claim right there, right? He said people only address that claim, which is the sister of Aaron thing. So now we're going to address the other part, which is the Imran thing. All right. Now we're going to address the Imran part, right? About how is she daughter of Imran? Okay. The assumption here is that this Imran is supposed to be once again the father of Moses, right? The father of Moses is said to be Amram. Amram is said to be the father of Moses and Aaron. So it's saying, well, how is she being called the daughter of Amram? All right, let's address that. Okay, let's address that. So the first thing concerning this is the translation Excuse me, wait a minute. The first thing is taking a look at how it's translated. All right. That would be chapter 335, right? Chapter 335. Don't forget, everybody, don't forget to hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Hit the like button so we can get the likes up. Don't forget, share the video, right? Hit the like button, share the video, do all of that. Okay? All right? Don't forget, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Let's get this, spread it around. Share the video. Share it. Spread it around. Right? Okay? All right. So, where was I? I am at Quran chapter 335. Okay. Let's go to chapter 335. Now, there are two ways this can be looked at. Okay, depending on the translation. All right, let me let's pull that up on the screen, and I'll address both of them without any issues or problems. So again, chapter 3, verse 35. You can see a list of the translations on the screen. You will notice that it is translated differently depending on the translator. All right. So, for example, Muhammad Assad has it when a woman of in brackets the house of Imran prayed. That gives us different connotation. Pickthall, for example, has it as wife of Imran. I did a little research on this, and you see that it says that, what does it say here? That imra'at, right? Imra'at can mean either a woman or a wife. So it could be a woman of Imran or the wife of Imran, right? A woman of or the wife of. Why is that significant? Because if it's just saying that this is a woman of Imran, meaning that she is from his, again, talking in the lineage sense, right? She's a woman of his lineage, who is, because the previous verse talks about the blessed families, right? The previous verse, chapter 3, verse, Chapter 3, verse 32 speaks about the prominent families that Allah had blessed. For example, it says, truly Allah had chose Adam and Noah and the descendants of Abraham and the descendants of Amram above the nations. So then when you get to 33, offspring one of another, and Allah is hearing, knowing. Then 34, when a woman of Imran said, "Oh my Lord." So depending on the trend, so if it's talking about that she is a woman of Amram, meaning a woman from his lineage, right? A woman from his lineage that, gives birth to Mary. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that this Imran is not referring to the Imran, not referring to not referring to Moses' father. How do we know that? Well, when we take a look at the tafsirs give us a glimpse of that. All right? Can you see this on the screen? Okay. Here's the tafsir from Jalalain. And it says, when the wife of, it says his wife. So here the tafsir is taking it as wife. But it's no issue because it shows that this Imran is not Amram, the father of Moses and Aaron. Well, how do I know? Well, let's read it. It says, mentioned when the wife of Amram, Hannah, said after she had reached old age and longed for a child and supplicated to God and sensed that she was carrying child. The part I want to focus on is the name of the wife. It says, mention when the wife of Imran, Hannah. So according to Jalalain, the name of the wife is Hannah. Right? I'm gonna show you why that's gonna make the point to show that it wasn't taken even by the earlier Muslims that this was the This was not Amram, the father of Moses. Let's take a look at Ibn Kathir, right? Ibn Kathir also says that the wife of Amram mentioned here is the mother of Maryam, and her name, of course, Maryam is Mary in Arabic, whether it's Maryam, the mother of Jesus, or Miriam from Moses' sister. But here it's clear this is talking about Mary, the mother of Jesus. So it says here, the wife of Amram mentioned here is the mother of Maryam, and her name is Hannah bint Faqud. Why is that significant? Well, because when we look in the Bible, it's pulling up. When we look in the Bible, as you see here on the screen, right, Exodus chapter 6, verse 20, what's the name of Amram's wife? What's the name of Moses' and Aaron's mother and father? Amram married his father's sister. Yes, that's right, he married his aunt. According to the Bible, Moses' father married his aunt. His aunt, what's her name? Jochebed. So this is the mother of Aaron and Moses. Okay? Her name is Jochebed. According to Exodus chapter 6, verse 2, the mother of Aaron and Moses, who was married to Amram, which is he married his aunt. Basically, he married his father's sister. I guess that was allowed back then. As people say that was allowed to do. You could do that back then, I guess, right? So he married his father's sister. He married his aunt. Yes, he married his aunt. His father's sister would be his aunt, right? So he married his aunt, and he had a child, or two children, Moses. Now, what's interesting too, right? It says it only mentions Aaron and Moses. Later, Miriam, the other sister, the sister of Miriam is mentioned somewhere later. But here she had Aaron and Moses. Her name is Jochebed. According to the Islamic sources, this woman, the wife of this Imran, is Hannah. Right? Both Jalalain and Ibn Kathir have her as Hannah. Okay? So it's a different woman. This is a different woman. This is not speaking about the father of Moses, the mother and father of Moses. Right? This is not speaking of the mother and father from the time. This is a different person. This is a different Imran. It's not uncommon for people to have the same name as somebody from before you. Right? And it's clear here from the Islamic sources here that the woman, the mother and father they don't match up to the names of Moses other than the father's name. But the mother here is not Jochebed. So this is not the Quran did not make a mistake. This is your mistake. This is you guys' mistake for rushing to judgment, for not doing the research, for having your biased ignorance, right? And wanting to look for something to try to demonize or denigrate Islam without doing a true unbiased investigation of the facts, right? Because they're so caught up in their hatred or their bigotry against Islam, they rush into these arguments without properly investigating or unbiasedly or fairly. He on his Twitter page, he claims that he's a fair critic of Islam. Well, a fair critic would have done the research and looked at the sources and would have said, "Oh, well, look, the Islamic sources show that the name of at least the name of the mother is different from the name of the mother in the Bible. Therefore, I guess I can't make the argument that it's mistaking Mary for the same Miriam from Moses and Aaron's time, because the mother's name doesn't match up." Right? The mother's name doesn't match up. Okay? The mother's name doesn't match up. So it's clear that this is not thought to be the early Islamic readers of the Quran did not look at this and think this was the mother of the mother of Moses and Aaron, and that Mary was given birth to, that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was given birth at the time of Moses. As I showed you already, thanks to AnsweringChristianity.com, they already they showed all the verses that demonstrate that the Quran is fully aware that Moses and Aaron lived at a different time from Jesus. So there's no way that in the same book they're going to the author of the Quran, which again we believe is Allah, is going to make the mistake and show that Mary is giving birth to Jesus, and she's yet she lived at the same time of Moses and Aaron, and is Moses and Aaron direct sister, giving birth to Jesus, and Jesus is now he's a prophet right there at the same time of Moses and Aaron. No, the Quran mentions Moses and Aaron, and it shows, as the verses were shown, credit to Answering Christianity, that they lived, that Jesus came after them, that Jesus came a long time after the time of Moses and Aaron. It's clear. So there's no mistake. The mistake is your own, people. The mistake is yours, Apostate Prophet. You didn't do fair research, as you claim you're a fair critic of Islam. Well, you didn't do any fair investigation on this subject. So this mistake that you made destroys Apostate Prophet. It's your mistake, and you are destroyed here. Okay? So he says most people address only the one about the sister of Aaron, and they don't address the Imran part. Well, as you see, I address both of them. As you see, I have addressed both of them, and showed clearly that the Islamic sources have not interpreted or not thought that this was the same Amram and Jochebed. As the Islamic sources show, that this woman that was married to this Imran was named Hannah, and is not the mother of Moses and Aaron. This is not the mother of Moses and Aaron. This is at a different time period. It's a completely different woman, and it's a different Imran. Okay, so again, he gave the other verse, which was 66:12. He tries to make an argument out of that, because it refers to once again Mary as the daughter of Imran, right? Well, as we already just showed you, that this Imran and this woman, his wife, are not the same Amram and Jochebed. This is a different couple that's being spoken of. So it's no problem in referring to Mary as the daughter of Imran, because this is not the same Imran from the time of Moses. So there's no mistake here. It is clear again that the Quran addresses Moses and Aaron in the same book. Clearly shows that they lived at a different time period. Clearly shows that in the same Quran that Jesus came after a time way after them. Right? Shows that Jesus came at a time way after them. All of that has been shown. So we've shown that. We've also shown once again that it is true that it is a saying to say that somebody is the sister of so-and-so, or the son of so-and-so, or the daughter of so-and-so, or so-and-so is the father, even though so-and-so is not your direct father. Again, you heard him when he said that. That's not a saying. He said it's not a saying, that's wrong. We showed that it is a saying. You're wrong, Apostate Prophet. You're the one that's wrong. And we demonstrated that this Imran is not referring to the same Imran at the time of Moses. And remember, the other point too is that it could also be translated as a woman from Imran, or a woman of Amram, in the sense that this is a woman who is a descendant of Amram, and Mary's mother is a descendant of Amram, having a child, Mary, and it's just referring to her descendancy. And therefore, the other verse that refers to Mary as the daughter of Imran, could also be this showing her descendancy from him, just the same way as in the Bible, where Elizabeth is said to be a daughter of Aaron, even though Aaron lived hundreds of years ago. Or it is that it's a different Aaron, right? And Elizabeth is the direct daughter of a different Aaron who lived at that time. And so, same with the Quran, that when it refers to daughter of Imran, that as we already demonstrated from the tafsirs, that this Imran is a different Imran who lived at the time of Mary and is her direct father, but it's not the same Imran from Amram from the time of Moses and Aaron. But either way you look at it, there's no mistake being made here. When all the evidence is put on the table and we look at it, no mistake is made. So, Mr. Apostate Prophet, this one mistake has destroyed you. rather than destroying Islam. All right. Now, after that, he goes on to make the argument that since this mistake is supposed to be a mistake, therefore that he must conclude that the Quran is not from God. That's basically what he goes on to say in the rest of the video. So we really don't have to play that because that's what he says. In the rest of the video, he basically just goes on to say that since he believes that his mistake is legitimate, which as we just demonstrated it's not, that therefore the Quran is false, the Quran is not from God, and therefore that destroys Islam. But as we showed, nope, Islam has not been destroyed. Rather, Apostate Prophet has been destroyed because he didn't do a proper investigation. All he did is repeat this tired argument that has been made by other. Even this argument is old. It's very old. It even goes back into ancient, old Christianity. That even Christians, after the time of the Prophet Muhammad, when Muslims and Christians started to talk to each other and debate each other, that these arguments were brought up by them. So this is a very old argument, but he's just repeating it, and it has been refuted, right? This argument has been refuted. It's an old argument, and it's been refuted. Okay, so Islam has not been destroyed. It's not a mistake. It's your mistake. And rather it falls on you and it destroys you instead. Okay, so you all can see it there. Like I said, he just basically after that, he just goes on. I'll let you hear a little bit of it, where he just goes on to say that his conclusion, he basically gives his conclusion that since this is wrong, therefore Islam, it's not from God, Quran is not from God. Etc.
When the discussion comes to why the Quran explicitly describes Mary as the daughter of Imran.
So as you heard, we already addressed it, right? We already addressed it. We showed from the Islamic sources that this is not the Imran and Jochebed couple that's in the Bible, showing that obviously this is not referring to that couple of the parents of Moses and Aaron back at the time of Pharaoh. It's obviously not referring to them, because the Islamic sources have a different woman showing as the wife. So this is a different couple. The father may have the similar name, but again, is that uncommon? That's not uncommon for people to have the same name as a descendant from way back. Right? Many Jews nowadays call themselves David, Solomon, right? Abraham. Muslims do the same thing, right? We Muslims do the same thing. We name ourselves and our children after the Prophet Muhammad, after Jesus, after Moses, Musa, Ibrahim, Sulaiman, right? We do the same thing. So that's not uncommon that a person can have the same name as a prominent descendant of theirs. Okay, so he said no Islamic apologist has ever addressed both. Well, there you got it. I have addressed both and refuted both with the facts and the clear evidence to show that there's no mistake being made here. No mistake has been made here. Okay, in fact, there is a hadith that shows that this issue was brought up at the time of the Prophet, and the Prophet he addressed it. He was aware. The hadith shows that he was aware that it wasn't the same Moses, and he said that they named their people after the people before them. All right, that can be, matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up. That is on the let's see, the brother on answering Christianity shows that. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you right here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm showing you because I don't want you Muslims to have any doubts. As you can see on the screen, the words in green right there, right? See the words in green? See right here in this green? Let's read this hadith. This was narrated by this is from Sahih Muslim, right? Mughira bin Shuba reported, when I came to Najran, they, i.e. the Christians, asked me, "You read, O sister of Harun, i.e. Mary in the Quran, whereas Moses was born much before Jesus. When I came back to Allah's messenger, peace be upon him, and asked him about that, whereupon he said, the people, he said the, i.e. referring to the people of the old age, the ancient people, used to give names, i.e. to their persons, to their people, after the names of apostles and pious persons who had gone before them. So according to this issue was brought up to the Prophet at the Prophet's time, where the Christians made the same attack. Oh, you guys made a mistake. How could she be the sister of Aaron? But and the Prophet shows that he was aware that this is not a mistake, that it's not referring to Mary as a, as the sister of, the direct sister of Moses and Aaron from the time of Moses. And that obviously when the surah of Imran, it was revealed that it wasn't referring to the father, the direct Imran, the same man Imran who was married to Jochebed in the Bible or Old Testament or Torah, who gave birth to Moses and Aaron, and possibly Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. That this is clearly a different couple. This is a different man with a different wife who gave birth to Mary. Yes, he's a descendant of them through Abraham and etc., but this is not that same man, that same Amram. This is not the same person. And this narration proves that the Prophet was aware of that when this issue was brought to him. And he said, oh man, look, they named their people after the people before them. They named their people after the apostles from before them and the pious persons before them. So this proves that the Prophet was aware that it was not referring to, nor did he make a mistake and confuse Mary with the same Mary from the time of the same Miriam as Moses and Aaron's time. Okay, once again, this is give credit to the Answering Christianity website for providing that evidence, that information right there. Okay, so Apostate Prophet, once again, you are the one that is destroyed. Your mistake destroys you. Your mistake destroys you. Okay, your mistake destroys you. So as I said, basically the rest of the video, he just goes on to say then that, look, since this is a mistake, this proves then that the Quran is not from God and it's wrong, and therefore you need to stay away from Islam or whatever. So I'm saying, look, now that I've shown you, or the people listening and watching, whether you're Muslim or not, that Apostate Prophet is wrong, you need to stay away from him. You need to rather stay away from him and his ignorance and his misinformation about Islam. So I'm going to reverse it. When he said you need to stay away from Islam, I'm saying, nope, you need to stay away from him, because this mistake that he made destroys him. And as I always tell you people, that all you had to do was do the research. All you would have to do is do the research and you would make this argument. But see, that's the thing, brothers and sisters, is that they don't do the research fairly and honestly, because they don't really want to find the answer. See, they're not looking at Islam to see, well, let me try to they don't want to try to understand it. See, as he said, and I seen one of his tweets, that his jihad is to destroy Islam. Well, come on with it. Well, come on with it. Come on with it. We here. Come try to destroy it, Apostate Prophet, because I got your number. Matter of fact, I'm going to take more of your videos, and I'm coming for your videos. I'm coming to refute more of your videos. So bring it on, bro. Bring it on. You want to destroy Islam? Your jihad is to destroy Islam? Come on. We here. Bring it, bro. Bring it. I'm going to do, matter of fact, I might do another one right after this one. I'm so hyped about it. I think I'm going to do another one. I think I'm going to do another video, inshallah. Right now, today, right after this one, I'm going to do another video and destroy another one of your arguments. Matter of fact, I might even do a series of destruction of your videos. Since that's your jihad, you say, I'll do a series of your videos and destroy a video by video. We'll break it down and destroy it video by video. But on the other side of that, brothers and sisters, in order to do this more, I know I do, but your support is necessary, brothers and sisters. Plain and simple, your support is necessary. Right? Your support is necessary. Your support is necessary, brothers and sisters. So as I said, like the video. Like the video. Share the video. In addition to that, support your brother. Right? I need your support. If I'm going to stay home and you know, I'm self-employed, if I'm going to stay home and put time into this video, help your brother out, please. Help your brother out, please, so I can do more of this. MashaAllah, you know, I enjoy doing this for the pleasure of Allah. At the same time, the Prophet said, believe in Allah and tie your camel. So I enjoy doing this for the pleasure of Allah. I enjoy doing this to help my Muslim brothers and sisters. At the same time, I got to tie my camel. And tying my camel is, I need your help. In order to do this, it takes effort, it takes time. I gotta research, I gotta get all my stuff, all my information lined up. So if I'm gonna do this, I need your support. I gotta tie my camel, which means I still gotta keep a roof over my head. Still gotta feed my family. So help your brother, please. Alright, please help support your brother. As I said, I'm still waiting on 2 more people to join my Patreon. I'm still waiting. I've been asking for it's been like what, going on 2 months, just about. I've been asking for 2 people. 2 more people. I got 3. Still waiting on 2 more people to complete 5. I can't get 5 yet, man. SubhanAllah, I can't get 5 yet. I still have not gotten 5 people yet, man. And all I need is, and really, I just need 2 more. SubhanAllah, man. I've been asking for 2 months and still have not gotten just 2 people to bring me up to, and 5. That's such a low number. Such a low number. David, you see how many he has. You see how many the others have, right? And I'm still trying to get 2 more people, brothers and sisters. Please, man, for real. For real, help your brother out. For real, help your brother out, please. And look at Apostate Prophet. Now, I don't know if he has a Patreon. I haven't looked. I don't know if he has Patreon. But you see how many subscribers he has. 100, what's his number now? He's up to like 120 something thousand subscribers. Let me look at that again. Wait, hold on a second. My bad. He is at, where is he at? Oops, that's the wrong one. He is at, what? Let's see. He is at, he's at 129. Look at, let you go right there. He's at 131,000 subscribers. That's how many subscribers he has. And he celebrated, like he said if his followers got him up to 100,000, that he would start making these other videos or whatever the case may be. That means the people who are against Islam, as I've said before to you, they are, you know, they're enthusiastic about supporting their people. Right? Where the Muslims are at, I don't know. My numbers are way before that. And it's not, you know, it's not like a number. It's not so much about the numbers. But, of course, the numbers means that we can spread the information more. Right? So I'm not doing this like I'm not saying this as a thing about, well, you know, I just want a bunch of numbers. No. But I'm saying is that the more people who subscribe to you means that's your support base. That means your videos, your information is being spread around. Right? So that means David, they got lots of subscribers. That means their information is being spread by more. That means he can spread his information 129,000 plus times around. That's a lot of people. Me, my numbers are way lower than that. I don't even have 10,000 yet on my, at least on this channel. So I'm wondering, where are the Muslims at? Are we losing you? Where are you at? Where's the Muslim support at? You said he's only been, oh, wow, that's even amazing then. See, that's even more amazing, Legend Killer. He's only been on YouTube since last year, and he's grown to 129,000. I've been on YouTube for about 10 years or so, and I have about 3,000 something. About 3,700 subscribers. MashaAllah, I'm happy for what I got. Right? I'm happy for what I got. But if what him and David talked about yesterday is true, that Muslim parents, Muslims themselves are saying that they're worried, they're upset that people are listening to his videos and they're losing their faith or whatever. If that's true, right? If there's any truth to that, then you need to spread the video. I got the answers, as you can see, right? And I'm not saying this in a boastful manner. I'm saying this with confidence and truth. That you see how I do my work. You see how I lay out my arguments with concise and precise information. You see it. So if what they talked about yesterday has any truth to it, that Muslims in Turkey, I think he's from Turkey, they said, that Muslims in Turkey are upset. They're worried. Well, look, I'm your black American brother in United States of America, but I got the answers to help the children. Matter of fact, inshallah, I give permission for people to translate this in the language of your country. If you're from Turkey, you have permission to take this video and translate my refutation into Turkish so that the people in Turkey can have the answers for their children. Okay? If you're a Turkish adult and you're doubting, translate this please so that way this will help you. If you're in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Algeria, Egypt, Malaysia, you have permission to translate my videos in the language of your country to help the Muslims out, to help the young Muslims out, to help if the parents said they need help, I got you. Translate my videos. I want to help you. I want to help you. Please help me. That's all I'm asking. Let me help you and help me so I can help you. Help me so I can help you, inshallah. So you have permission. You hear me? You have permission to translate my videos. You can take the footage and then put like subtitles, right? You can put a subtitle to translate it in Turkish or Arabic or French, Spanish, German, Malay, whatever languages they speak. You know, you have permission to translate it. Hindi, Urdu, translate it. You have permission to translate it. Whatever I can do and what we can do to get this message, these messages, these refutations, these debates spread around the world to help the Muslims. Please, you have permission. You have my permission to do that. In return, I'm asking that you help me, please, so I can do more of this. MashaAllah, this is my passion. You know what I mean? MashaAllah, this is my passion. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this for the pleasure of Allah. And at the same time, I still gotta, right? I gotta keep a roof over my head, keep the family fed. Help me do that, brothers and sisters. And I promise you, by Allah, I'll do more. I can do more of this. I can take more time out to do this, right? I can take more time out to do this. So that's what I'm asking, inshallah. So as I said, I still need 2 people on my Patreon. It's been 2 months and I can't even get 2 people yet. It's clear that the haters they're outrunning us in the sense that their support for their people is there. Like Legend Killer said, he only been on 1 year and he already grew to 129,000. So that shows you there's a market for that, as we already talked about, right? There's a market for this anti-Muslim, ex-Muslim stuff. They get plenty of support. Where is the Muslim support for people like myself who is out here trying to counter these people and refute their lies and misinformation? I want that same support, inshallah. I want that same support. And again, it's not about the numbers, it's about the support. The more people who support, who subscribe, that means the more people we can spread the information. Because then I'm imploring you to take my videos and spread it and share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Right? Spread it around so that we can get this information out there. In your country, to your people in your country. Tell them, yeah, that brother from the United States, that black American Muslim brother, he's a Muslim. And mashallah, he's given the information to help refute these people. Appreciate that. Yeah, for those who are, matter of fact, yeah, let me give a thank you too to the people who have been supporting me. Brother Sammy, thank you. Thank you for your support, bro. And the others, I don't know if they want their names mentioned, so I won't mention. But the other brothers who are supporting me, the 3 that I have on Patreon, mashallah, may Allah reward you. I don't want you to think that your support is insignificant. I don't want you to think that. I appreciate it. May Allah reward you greatly for that. We just need to add more people on. We're calling more people on. So the people who are already supporting me, thank you. Thank you. Your support is great. No, I don't want you to think that I'm not grateful for it or that it's insignificant. It is great. It helps. We just need to add more people on. We're calling more people to support us. So if you're serious about countering these people, brothers and sisters, look, we got to do it. Because if not, they're outpacing us, man. They're outpacing us. That's big growth to be on for 1 year and to grow that fast. And obviously they think he's the big shot now, right? His supporters and the people, they think that he's the big, he's the big shot anti-Islamic refuter who can refute the Muslims. But let me do some more videos. Let me keep doing videos. Let me keep doing more videos. We coming. He said his jihad is to destroy. Well, like I said, bring it on, bro. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm doing more videos. We're gonna address their big shot guy. We're gonna address their big shot. All right. So I don't wanna belabor the point on that any further. Like I said, I just need your support. All right. If I'm gonna stay from my business and on a day like this and do this kind of work, help me out. You know what I'm saying? Help a brother out. Help me so I can, keep the roof over my head, take care of my family, and still do this work, fi sabilillah. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong, even in Islam, it says you can give charity. Your zakat, your charity can go to the people who are involved in da'wah work. So what I'm asking for is it's not an innovation. It's not bid'ah. It's totally permissible, even according to Islam. I'm involved in that kind of work, so support your brother, inshallah. All right. So, and let me see, before I close it out, any questions, any comments? Let me see some of the comments that the brothers had. All right. Thank you, Brother Sammy. Appreciate that. I just saw your statement. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. Let's see, any comments? Let's read some of the comments here, inshallah. Legend Killer, man. Legend Killer, man. Legend Killer is a good supporter. He's a moral support brother, Brother, like, cheering me on. Appreciate that, Legend Killer. Thank you. He's cheering me on. Let's see here. Some of the comments. All right. Some brother, Azim Ashraf said, do one on Christian Prince video. Okay, inshallah, we'll do that too. Inshallah, we'll address Christian Prince. We've addressed him before, though, on Power Talk. But yeah, we can go after him too. We can make some videos refuting his nonsense too. Yeah, Truth Alone said, nowadays the best way to become a celebrity and make money is to be an ex-Muslim, then form a channel. Yeah, right. There's a market for that now. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a market for that. And, the West, they like that kind of stuff. And that's interesting too about Apostate Prophet channel, is that if you not his channel but on his Twitter, that's one of the things that he mentions in his profile, the little description, that he is a what does it say he is? I forgot what it says. Something about he's a supporter or a fan of Western civilization. And I have noticed, if you haven't noticed too, that that seems to be a key factor in the anti-Islamic movement as well. That, as I told you before, that there is this Western supremacist element that is involved in it, right? There's this Western supremacist element that is involved in it, which of course also connects to a white supremacist element involved. Now, of course, he says that, he's not racist or whatever the case may be. And then on his Twitter, it says that, what does he say? That if you think that attacking Islam is racist, then you must be the racist. Well, no, that's not the case. But as I've showed on many of my other videos, that there is a racist element in the attacks on Islam. Right? There is a racist element in the attacks on Islam. I'm not saying that he's doing that, but amongst the anti-Islamists who attack Islam, there is a racist element involved in it. There is a bigoted element in it, because it goes beyond just criticizing Islam. There are statements that we've talked about before, how they, talk about Muslims, and they're making racist and bigoted statements, right? When you claim that the Muslims are all out to kill, that the Muslims are backwards. What have the Muslims contributed to science and all this kind of stuff like that? What have Muslims ever contributed to, civilization? That's not criticism of Islam, is that, right? That's a type of racism. Because what's the implication? The implication is, what have Muslims done to contribute to civilization? I.e., obviously you think they haven't done anything, i.e. they're a less inferior people, right? They're an inferior people. Or when you say, all Muslims are out trying to kill us, well, then you're trying to demonize Muslims as being a bunch of killers and murderers. Bigotry, right? That's a type of bigotry. It's a type of racism, right? Oh, the Muslims are trying to take over. Racism. Just like with the immigrant thing. The immigrants are trying to take over. It's a connection. There is a racist and bigoted element connected to it. So there are people who do more than just criticize Islam. There are people who actually promote bigotry against Muslims and Islam. And that's why we say that to certain people. If you're just criticizing with theological arguments, fine, then it's just that. But there are people who go beyond just theological criticisms and actually promote racism and bigotry against Muslims because they think all Muslims are Arabs, right? They think all Muslims are Arabs. So anybody who looks like that is this or that, is backward, is a killer, inferior, trying to take over, trying to take our women, trying to take over our countries. These are all elements of racism and bigotry. So that's why we say that. That's why we say these people who go beyond just criticism are expressing a type of racism and bigotry. Not saying that I haven't watched all his videos yet. I have to see. So right now, I'm not saying that he does that. After I watch a lot of his videos, if I detect any or hear any of it, I'll let you know. But so far, let's just say he's not doing that. But there are people who do that, like David. David is guilty of that. His friend Nabil Qureshi was guilty of that. I remember one time there was a video of Nabil. They were in front of I don't know where they were at. I think they may have been, I don't know if they were in the United States or they were in the UK. But Nabil did a video in front of a Muslim bank. He did a video in front of a Muslim bank. And basically the video was like kind of making it seem like, you see, look, see, they're putting banks in our countries as if to promote that, that takeover kind of garbage. That, see, the Muslims are trying to take over type nonsense. When him and David went to the Arab festival in Detroit a few years ago, right? There was an expression of a type of bigotry with that, because the idea was like, they're coming to the country and they're having festivals and all that, and they're taking over. That takeover stuff is not criticism of Islam. When you talk like that, that's bigotry. All you got to do is remove Muslim from that and say, look, the blacks got banks. See, look at the blacks with their banks. Now you say, that's racist. You would say that's racism, right? If you said, if somebody did a video, if a white guy did a video standing in front of a black-owned bank and says, see, I'm standing in front of this black-owned bank. See, black people are trying to take over. You'd be accused of racism. So why is it different if you say, do that standing in front of a Muslim bank? If you went to if David and Nabil had gone to an African American festival and said, hey, see, we're here at the African American festival, and look at these black people. Look at them. They're trying to take over with their festival. See that? Look at them. They're coming into our neighborhoods and they're trying to take over and having festivals in our neighborhood. You'd be accused of racism, right? So why is it different if you go to the Arab festival or the Muslim festival and do that, but now you're not a racist? If you went to a Jewish festival and did that, you'd be accused of racism against Jews or being anti-Semite. If you stood in front of a Jewish bank or a Jewish hospital and said, see, I'm standing in front of this Jewish hospital here. See that? See, they're taking over. You'd be accused of being an anti-Semite. But right now in Western society, it's acceptable to do that with Muslims. You can do that with Muslims and these people would applaud you. Right? They'll applaud you for doing it. They won't say, you're a bigot, because they agree with it themselves, because they're bigots themselves. See, the Muslims haven't got to the level where we can speak out. Speak out and charge people with racism against us, because too many people in the Western society, particularly the dominant people in society, you figure out what I'm saying. The people who are dominant in Western society, they accept the bigotry against Islam. So that's why they're not too quick to call it out. Like you see with Sister Ilhan Omar, where, even in her own party, they're not really doing too much to speak on her behalf. Trump can say stuff about her. Other Republicans are saying stuff about her, right? And people in her party, they're not really showing too much effort. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who have been saying, in support of her, but her party hasn't been really, coming to her defense like they really should be. See, they're not that outspoken on Sister Ilhan's behalf. Why is that? Because, well, the dominant people in this society have pretty much, they kind of like accept the racism, the bigotry against Muslims. It's the same thing as we see around the world. When something happens in France or in the UK or America, everybody has to get involved, right? You changing your profile on your YouTube or your Facebook, and you putting the country's flag in your profile and all of that. But then when a Muslim country has an incident and the Muslims get bombed or destroyed, nobody's putting the Muslim country flag and colors on their profile picture, right? It's almost like, those are Muslims, right? It's almost like that. If something happens in Nigeria, the Muslims, that's the Muslims. If something happens in Uganda to Muslims, not too bad. That's just the Muslims. Something happened in France. Oh my God, France. Oh, prayers and thoughts to France. Everybody change your profile colors and put the colors of France flag because something happened in France. Hey, the Muslims in Nigeria just got bombed by an American cruise missile. That's just the Muslims. Hey, the Muslims in Algeria just got hit with a bombing by some group. Too bad. Oh my God, hey, Muslims in Iraq just got hit with a Tomahawk missile. That's just the Muslims. Hey, something happened in the UK. Oh my God, the UK. Everybody change the color of your profile. Prayers and thoughts for the UK. Oh man. Hey, something happened in Malaysia to the Muslims. That's just the Muslims. You're not gonna put the Malaysian flag? No, that's just the Muslims. Oh, so you're not gonna change the color of your profile to the Malaysian color flag? Nah, that's just the Muslims. Oh, so you're not gonna change the color of your flag to Nigeria because the Muslims in Nigeria just got attacked by the Christian Liberation Army? Nah. Hey, the Muslims in the Congo just got attacked by the Christian in Congo. That's just so we're not gonna change our color. We're not going to change the color of our profile to the colors of the Congo to support? No? Oh, okay. Only when it's a European country? Only when white people are the victims? So when the brown people and black people, Muslims are the victims, we don't care? Okay, I got you. You see, that's how it is, right? That's how it is, basically. That's how it is. So bigotry against Muslims is like, it's acceptable. It's like we don't really get, we don't get no sympathy. We don't really get no sympathy that much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen at all. We know that people did come out for support what happened in New Zealand and stuff like that. But, it's not really like how it gets if something happens in France or in America or in the UK or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not really the same kind of thing. You get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. But, yeah, they'll lose their donor money. It's because the West has exactly, cognitive gnosis. Exactly. You're right. And that's exactly what I've been saying. That's really what goes on here. That this is their Eurocentric point of view, and people like because that Europe doesn't really consider Turkey part of them, right? You know that, right? Even though the Turkish are clearly white people, but I guess Europe has always looked at Turkey like as if they are from the Middle East instead because of their Muslim heritage. So historically, the Europeans have never quite really accepted the Turkish. Matter of fact, didn't Turkey have a problem trying to get into the European Union? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Turkey have a problem, right, trying to get into the European Union, right? Are they still fighting that? Have they been allowed in, or are they still kind of like not accepted in the European Union? Or did they accept them in? Because I remember a few years ago that was a problem. Like they were debating on whether to allow Turkey to join the European Union or not. But I know historically that Turkey has not quite really been accepted amongst the other European nations as a European people because of they're too connected to Islam. Yeah, Brother Sammy, I saw that. That's right. You're right. I saw that, which is interesting, right? That there was a fire And they said it went on at the same exact time, didn't it? They said that, from what the article I saw, said that the fire started at the same exact time as the one, or it was going on at the same time as Notre Dame. So yeah, that was also very interesting. That was also very interesting. Yeah, brother Sammy, you're right. Yeah, Ilhan Omar. Yeah, her base loves her, man. They support her. I support, even though she's not from my, she's not in my district. But even though, but she still works for all of us. You know what I mean? Even though she works for her district, but she also serve us all. She's also can be outspoken for all Muslims in America. You know what I mean? So she does have a lot of support. She has a lot of support from non-Muslims too. Like I said, I know a lot of people don't, they're not outspoken for her as they should be. But if you look in the details, you do see that there are a lot of non-Muslims that, they do stand with her and give her support as well. So, nah, ABC, nah, I destroyed him, bro. He's been destroyed. I'm not talking crap. I never talk crap. And there's no victimhood here. There's no victimhood here. We gave the evidence. We refuted him. He's destroyed. You guys, the problem with you guys is that you don't like hearing the truth. See, that's their defense mechanism, right? This ABC jerk off here is talking about victimhood. They always say that when you remind the world of what evil they've done to us. So they say victimhood, victimhood. So was it victimhood when you were bitching about 9/11? Is it victimhood when you bitch about 9/11 and you tell people don't forget about it? Is it victimhood when the Jews remind us about the Holocaust? Is it victimhood when you remind us about Pearl Harbor? Is that victimhood? No, right? So shut up. Shut up then. It's always victimhood. No, it's not victimhood. It's telling the truth of the evil that you and your people have done. That's not victimhood. That's exposing evil. See, they call it victimhood because it's like a way of trying to shame you. It's really what that is, brothers, is a way to try to get you to shut up. Because they don't want to hear the truth about what the evil they've done. That's what that is. So don't fall for that. Keep talking about it. Keep telling them how evil they are. Because they don't want to hear. They don't like hearing it. So they try to get you to be quiet by trying to shame you by claiming, oh, you're claiming victimhood, victimhood. No, it's not victimhood. It's talking about an evildoer. It's telling an evildoer to his damn face that he's an evildoer. You did something wrong to me and my people. That's not victimhood. But see, they don't want to hear it because they're too busy kissing their own asses, telling the world how good they think they are. That's the problem with ABC and others like him or her. They don't like hearing the truth because they're so brainwashed by the false history that they're the good guys that when you start exposing the evil that they do, they can't take it. They can't take it. So they got to charge you with victimhood because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear how evil they really are because they're brainwashed with all the propaganda, how they're supposed to be the good guys and how they give democracy and how they go to liberate and free and all that BS. When in reality, you're the damn troublemakers on this earth. You're the damn troublemakers on this earth. So I know the truth hurts. I know you don't want to hear the truth about yourselves. But damn it, I'm going to keep telling you. I'm gonna keep telling you, using that victimhood shit ain't gonna work on me. That doesn't work on me. You can't use that victimhood stuff on me. Because I'm telling the truth. You did wrong. You did wrong and you do wrong. If you don't like it, oh well, too bad for you. Too bad. The truth hurts. Deal with it. Too bad. The truth hurts. Deal with it. That's what their problem is. They just can't hear. They just can't hear with it. Please, don't matter what I am. Don't start that. Don't start that black. What are you, black? Whatever. Are you white? Are you white? Because why would you be worried about if I was black? Huh? Right? Now you want to go on that. You see how they do? They can't handle it. They can't handle it. They can't handle you telling the truth about them. Matter of fact, I have a book about that. I think I might have read it to you before. But it's a book that talks about that very same fact. About how a lot of white racists and bigots, they have this, what the author calls it their defense mechanism, which is called blaming the victim. He talks about that. In matter of fact, let me see if I got that book real quick. Hold on a second. No, I have to dig it out of my books. I have to dig it out of my library. But there's this book that I have. It's called The Psychopathic Racial, what's it called? The Psychopathic Racist or Race, something like that. Psychopathic Racist Mentality or something of that sort by a psychologist, right? And in the book, the psychologist talks about the psychopathic racist personality and says that they have a defense mechanism where instead of addressing the evil and the wrong that they've done through their racism, they came up with a defense mechanism which he calls what he says is they call it the blaming the victim. And as you see, that's what ABC did. Instead of addressing their racism and the evil that they've done or do, instead of addressing it, they turn around and try to defend themselves by calling you that you're a victim or you're in victimhood or whatever, right? And that's their way of trying to get you to, like, you know, to be quiet, to make you feel bad. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I am legitimately a victim and I'm talking about what you've done wrong to me, why should I be ashamed? Right? Why should I be ashamed? Shouldn't you be ashamed of yourself? Right? Why should the victim be ashamed of telling the evil that was done to them? Right? Like, these people are twisted and sick in their minds. But that's how they think. See? Instead of addressing the evil and the wrong that they do, they want you to feel bad and say, oh, victimhood. You're whining, you're crying. No, I'm not whining or crying. I'm talking about the evil that you did to me, and I'm calling you to your face and telling you that you're guilty. That's not victimhood. See? And who should be ashamed is not me. You should. The perpetrator should be feeling ashamed, not the victim. You should be the one feeling bad. You should be the one that feels ashamed. The hell are you talking about victimhood? But that's how they get you, or they attempt to try to get you to stop talking about the evil that they've done. All right? So, okay. All right, so I don't want to continue on too long because now it's turning into a different subject. So as I said, what I'm going to do, as I said, I feel motivated to do another video. So I think I'm going to take a break. Let me take a little break. All right. One of the brothers said he donated, so I appreciate that. That allows me that I can stay. I don't have to go out. All right, so I can do this work. I can do this work. I can do this work, fi sabilillah. That means for the pleasure of Allah. So let me take a little break, and I'm going to look at another video of Apostate, and we'll prepare. You know, I'll get it prepared. So give me about an hour. Let's say an hour. It may be shorter, but at least give me an hour. I'll look over one of his videos, another video, and we'll prepare another refutation. All right, we'll do another video, inshallah, in about an hour. All right, but don't forget, everybody, please like the video, put likes on the video, share the video. I give you permission to translate in your language of your country, all right, whatever it is, Turkish, Malay, Arabic, Urdu, Spanish, French, German, Russian. You have permission to take this video and translate it and share it, and my other videos as well. So let's do that. So don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, translate, share, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Share it wherever it needs to be shared. Share it with your family, friends. If you hear somebody who says that they're worried, doubtful, share it with them. If you hear parents, Muslim parents that said they're worried that their kids are listening to these people, share it. Let's get it out there. Let's get this information. Click the Patreon. Let me get 2 more people so I can get 5. Or like I said, or just support. Just send a donation through PayPal, whatever, so the brother can do the work. All right, I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. And watch as we, like I said, he says that his jihad is to destroy Islam. I'm saying bring it on, and we're gonna counter his attack. We're gonna bring the counter attack. All right, against those who are attacking us first. All right, assalamu alaikum, and I'll see you guys shortly. All right.